Back to writing the video. Targeted individual program, comes experience, targeted individual programming. Look at how they have the stalker standing in front of the building. Okay? Look. I just talk about my package. See? Perfect timing, right? Perfect timing. What I just did a video on, right? That is, again, and how they did that, I said to myself, let me play a game of the division. It was around 10:30, so I said, okay, I'll play like 20 minutes, play a mission, quick mission, and so in the middle of the mission, right, they disconnected my my controller, right? So I had to restart the mission again. So this is the reason why I leaving later than I'm supposed to leave. But it's because they wanted to do this, to delay, right? This is the delay tactic, to delay the time I'm supposed to leave, because they know they're going to have the postal worker out here by the time I finish the mission and get dressed and get ready to leave. He'll be out here, right? So, you see, when you understand these things, like I said, it demystifies their attempt to what is called mystical manipulation, right? Or supernatural manipulation, where everything is synchronized, right? And things are done in a way because you have no understanding of what's being done. You kind of get a feeling, right? That some people will call a religious experience, right? But it's not like I said, it is manipulation. That's what that is. It is manipulation. And oh look, they're pulling on all the stops. I haven't seen these. Again, once in a while, look, the color red. Once in a while, you'll see these. Let me go over this way. Sorry. Yo. All right. She walked behind me and she said sorry. like I said, they just say some strange shit, man. But like I said, they're not sorry. They look. they continue to do what it is that they do, right? It is not as if they're ever going to stop. They just want to say sorry to clear their conscience, and then the next day they come back and they do the same thing again. It's like when you're a Christian, you do something wrong, you go and you pray, right? But then the next day you go back and you do the same shit, right? It is that. Like I said, the religious mindset, because it is a believer's mindset, and they teach you to believe, right? So you can pray all you want, but then if you go back and you do the exact same thing, then what's the sense? And there's the concept of Jesus always forgiving you of your sins. So, they're like, you pray or you go to church, you confess, you go Hail Mary, and your sins are forgiven. But then you go back and you do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, again, there's one thing, over the past 2 decades of just doing research and moving away from, the religious aspect and moving away from Christianity and seeing and understanding religion for what it is, understanding that religion is just myth, and particularly is bad myth, because Christianity is the only religion where its followers or its believers, right, will do wrong things, and then, you see what I'm saying? Look her over there. Look her over here. Why? Oh yeah. Listen, I remember the woman that came on the bus. She had what do you call it? A burqa? Is it burqa or a buka? Right? And the NY Predators Department showed up afterwards. Right? So again, using, they'll find other groups of people, right? They'll find other people, recruit new people, right? After I expose them, you know, and it is what it is, right? It is how it is, right? These people are they don't care, you know. When it comes to the ritualistic mindset, right? The what is called the highly narcissistic personality traits that is conditioned into people. This is what happens. This is what you get. You know, you can't. There's nothing you can do, right, as a TI to stop them from targeting you. Right? They have literally weaponized the public against you. So you got to understand that. But you know, that does not mean that you can't fight back, right? It does not mean that you have to accept what it is that they do. They'll ever accept it because they want you to accept it. That way they can do it and have their conscience clear. You know, like I said, you look at white supremacists, right? The racists, right? After they're done, or let's look at an abuser. Right? They gotta keep you powerless or make you powerless. Why? So that you don't fight back. Right? See, when the abuser instills fear in you, you know, the abuser, he or she, they can go to sleep at night knowing that, you know, they're gonna wake up in the morning, right? But you see, once they see that you begin to fight back, now sleeping becomes uncomfortable, right? Now they gotta sleep with one eye open, right? Now they gotta worry, right? So either they're gonna change their behavior, or if they continue, they know that, you know, they might not wake up in the morning. So you gotta think of it like that. These people, they're gonna continue to attack you because the minute you fight back, right, and the minute you don't accept what it is that they do, they're gonna come at you hard, and I mean hard, right? Because they gotta try to put you back into that sleep, right? Try to make you into a sheep, right? So that you don't fight back. Okay? That is what they do, and again, exposing them is the only way to, well, I shouldn't say only way, it's one of the ways in which you fight back, right? But it is I think it's the only way in which you can prove what it is that you're saying. You see, well, I'm not sure if if the phone caught him, but he's walking towards me, and he got his pinky finger sticking out. Right? What they do? Oh yeah, I got my pinky finger sticking out too. Look what I do. Look what I do. Right? So, like I said, I don't, you know, these things don't bother me because I know what it is that they're trying to do, and you know, it doesn't work with me. You know what I'm saying? They can do that shit with other people. You know what I'm saying? It never, and what it is they do is to try to make you change your personality to be aggressive in certain things, right? You know, when they try to attack your manhood, you know, as a man, you're gonna be like, oh, well, this and that. I mean, I've experienced it with my brother. I tell him all the time, I said, and I understand how they change his personality. Look, New York Predator Department. Look at him. Look at him. JHN6733. Well, I don't know if they're the Predator Department now, but I see they got lights like police. So, you know what I'm saying? Like the Predator police officers, they got, and their vehicles, they got, and their cars, they got lights, right? But anyhow, is that number 32 there? Oh, yes, it is. 6632, number 32. Right? But when I used to talk to my brother, you know, because, you know, he was like, you know, they're trying to isolate me. I'm going to go out, I'm going to have my fun. I said, yeah, that's fine. See, they walk by and all of a sudden I start coughing. It's chemicals, right? That's what they do. These chemicals attack. And they've been repeating that again, too. So the past couple of days, they've been using chemicals to attack with chemicals, right? But then, as I was saying, so I used to tell my brother, I said, listen, man, it's okay, you gotta have fun, but when you start talking about how they trying to shrink your penis, or you know, I said what it is that they're conditioning you into chasing women right? Because you're trying to prove that, you know what I'm saying, that they can't stop you from talking to them. I said, don't let that be the focal point of your thinking, because that's what they want. That's how they understand that their conditioning of your mind is working, right? It is because it's to create this false perception, right? And then, you know, when they've manipulated you or put you in a situation where, you know, you catch your STDs and shit like that, right? Then it's to go and, you know, create negative propaganda. Look what he does. Look at what he does. Look at what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bus is coming and he just gonna pull right into the damn bus stop, right? What is it? S256547. Fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. Saw you coming, he just gonna pull right in front of you.
I've been new to the place, but I can walk too far.
Please exit through
But yeah, I gotta.
Next stop, transfers available to B17.
I have to do it again. Coughed up whatever residue was in the floor. Thanks.
Please exit through the rear door. Next stop, State Avenue and Church Avenue. Transfers available to B35 and B35 permitted.
Want me to buy you some lunch? You look like you're hungry. I'm just kidding. You look like you're in pain. You need braces? Okay. Shut up, my wide open. I got braces.
Which one is
Alright, video. Brand new video.